Please don't forget subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified of new daily videos.
I needed a quiet space. My wife and I had just welcomed our first child, a beautiful daughter, and while I adored them both, freelancing as a web developer from home with a newborn was challenging. I found a small commercial storefront for rent, advertised by a man named Victor Sterling. He owned a high-end landscaping business, Sterling Greenscapes, and apparently dabbled in commercial property rentals. The space was perfect, or so he claimed. He assured me the HVAC was fully functional, the internet connection solid, and the premises spotless ideal for a quiet office. We signed a lease, and I paid a hefty $1,200 security deposit. Moving in, the reality hit me like a ton of bricks. The HVAC unit hissed cold air in summer, refusing to heat in the colder months. A persistent, sickening sewage smell wafted from the back utility closet, apparently from a chronically clogged drain. And worst of all, the roof leaked right over my carefully arranged workspace every time it rained. I called Victor, email after email, but he was dismissive, then openly hostile. "You got a bargain, not a palace," he'd bark. He even accused me of causing the leak and the drain issue myself. He'd show up unannounced, letting himself in, making me incredibly uncomfortable. It was impossible to work, and my mental health was deteriorating. With my wife struggling with sleepless nights and a newborn, staying in that unworkable, malodorous space was no longer an option. We decided to break the lease early, cutting our losses. I meticulously documented the condition of the place, even doing some minor repairs and a deep clean, leaving it far better than I found it. Victor promised to mail the deposit. He never did. He ghosted my calls for weeks until one day he answered with a sneer. "That deposit. Consider it payment for breaking your lease. You're not getting a dime. Go cry about it." I was furious. That $1,200 was a significant sum for us new parents, especially when I'd barely been able to work. As a web developer, my first instinct after cooling down was to hit him where it hurt, his online reputation. I started leaving scathing, factual reviews for Sterling Greenscapes on every platform imaginable. While clicking through one of his old business links, something clicked for me. His primary domain, sterlinggreenscapes.com, had expired. I knew exactly what I had to do. In an instant, I purchased the lapsed domain. Then, with a sly grin, I redirected it to the website of Bloom and Blade Landscaping, one of his major competitors known for their impeccable service and ethical business practices. The next step was to twist the knife. I sent Victor an email from a generic address, offering to sell him back his domain for the original $1,200 deposit plus my domain registration fee, bringing the total to $1,250. His response was immediate and incandescent. My phone blew up with voicemails filled with threats against me, my family, even calls to some of my freelance clients. He swore he knew where I lived and would make me regret it. I calmly archived every email and saved every threatening voicemail. Interestingly, I also started receiving emails from major business listing sites like Google My Business and Yelp, asking me to verify changes to sterlinggreenscapes.com's contact information. It became clear Victor had used his own business domain email for all his critical contact info, a rookie mistake. I didn't want to risk impersonation charges, so I simply ignored them, letting the incorrect, competitor-redirected info persist. Then came the job inquiries. Potential clients, trying to reach Sterling Greenscapes through his old, now redirected website, were contacting me. I forwarded one such lead to Victor, providing the client's details just to prove I wasn't bluffing. "This is the last time I'm doing you a favor, Victor," I told him. "It would be a shame to miss out on more business like this. The price is still $1,250. He went ballistic, threatening to sue me for everything I owned. I simply responded, "I look forward to seeing you in court. I have all your threats recorded, and I'll be countersuing for your breach of contract and harassment." I hung up. He called back, screaming. I hung up again. This little dance repeated several times until he finally spoke with a strained, respectful tone, admitting he hadn't landed a significant new client in months. I told him to focus on building a new online presence. He lost it again, cussing me out. I hung up one last time. 6 months crept by. The price subtly increased to $1,300. Another few months, then $1,350. He'd call occasionally, sometimes begging, sometimes raging, always refusing to meet my price. Each time I'd reiterate the exact cost of the deposit plus a small inconvenience fee. Then a text message came through. "I'm out of business. My company is gone. I hope you're happy, you vindictive bastard." I replied instantly. "It's a shame. A professional website really helps with business, you know. $1,350 and it's still yours." He called me a terrible person and ranted about karma. My final message: "Perhaps if you stopped ripping people off, your karma wouldn't be so bad." That was the last I ever heard from Victor. I verified it. Sterling Greenscapes, once a prominent name, was gone from all major business directories. A few months later, I drove past his old office and yard empty, with for lease signs plastered all over. I never got my $1,200 back, but seeing his empire crumble, knowing I was the catalyst for his downfall, was worth every single penny and more. Some debts aren't just paid in cash, they're paid in consequences. He learned the hard way that when you steal from someone, especially someone who understands digital leverage, the cost can be far greater than any sum of money. Justice, in this case, was served with a redirect.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button to like it. And please do subscribe to support the channel.